All right, so jumping straight into one of the first things that you guys need to be aware of is which platform should you use? Now, there's so many different choices out there, and I get questions on a daily basis about, Sam, should I use this one? Should I be using that one? What do I think about this one? Now, in my opinion, I believe that Shopify is the best option to use. Most of you have probably heard of other platforms, for example, WooCommerce, Squarespace, Big Cartel, Wix, even WordPress. And the reason why I believe that Shopify is the best is because it's so easy when it comes to navigating through their platform. But not only that, Shopify is also an all-in-one solution, which means that you don't have to go elsewhere when it comes to hosting your website. Because once you sign up for a Shopify account that you can do by clicking the link in my description down below, you're going to be able to benefit from this massive discount that they have at the moment, where all you need to do is pay $3 for the next 3 months, which means that you're not going to have to go to another place for you to get hosting for your website, because everything is done all within Shopify, which makes it super simple. And even after this trial period is done and you're now going to have to pay the full price, Shopify pricing isn't even that much, because as you can see, it's only around $29 per month for you to host your Shopify website, which again isn't really that much, and you're going to be able to do everything within your Shopify account. A lot of these other platforms, as I already said, you're going to have to get hosting elsewhere. You're not going to be able to view all of your analytics from within these actual platforms. You're going to have 3 different logins for you to maintain one account. And that's why I always recommend people to go with this platform when it comes to building their e-commerce website. All right, so once you've decided on whatever platform that you're going to use, one of the next things that you need to be thinking about is which product are you going to sell? And I've broken down 5 different elements to what I believe a winning product actually is. So one of the first things is that customers don't just want it and that they actually need it. And what this basically means is that I like to sell items that customers need it for them to be able to continue with their day-to-day life on a normal basis. And that could be any type of item, whether it's baby products, pet products, things for the house. It could be any type of item, but I just want to make sure that customers actually need it, because if I'm able to build my store on a foundation of products that people actually need, then I know that there's going to be an increased chance for my store to be successful. One of the next things that I like to look out for that kind of lets me know whether or not I've got a winning product on my hands is whether or not the product is higher ticket. And when I say higher ticket, this just simply means that the product is going to be selling for around $50 or $60. A lot of people, when they first start dropshipping, tend to go for items that they're going to be able to sell for around $10 or $20. But over my experience of building e-commerce stores, I've seen that for me to be able to build up a decent amount of cash flow and a decent amount of revenues and profits, if my product is a little bit higher price point, then I'm going to be able to get to my goals a lot more sooner. So for me, ideally, I like to sell products that are minimum around $40, $50. The higher the better, but I don't go too high, for example, $200 per product, because when it comes to dealing with returns, it could be a little bit of a headache. The third thing that I look out for when it comes to me deciding on whether or not a product is worth my time in selling is whether it's selling well on other platforms. And when I say other platforms, I'm talking about websites like eBay and Amazon. If I'm able to see that other sellers on those platforms are successfully selling it on a monthly basis consistently, then there's a high chance that if I was to build a website around those products and sell it on my own store, then I'm also going to be able to sell it as well. I don't like to look for a brand new product that hasn't been proven to sell well before. I know other people are successful with it, but for me, I've always sold products that I've seen other people selling successfully on big e-commerce marketplaces like eBay and Amazon. The fourth thing that I look out for is whether or not the product is small and lightweight. Now, when it comes to building any physical product business, the reason why you want to make sure that you're selling an item that has high value and also is small and lightweight is because you're going to be able to make more money than the average person, but you're also going to be able to save more money on postage cost. With every single e-commerce store that I've always started, I've always tried to make sure that the product doesn't weigh too much, because it's going to be a little bit of a headache when it comes to shipping the product to the customer. And if the customer wants to return the item for whatever reason, it's going to be a headache for that customer to now send it back to you. And if you now want to send it back to your supplier, it's also going to be a headache when it comes to paying for postage costs for you to do that. So for you to be able to save a lot of money when it comes to the bottom line of your business and the profit that you're going to make, always try to make sure that the product is small and lightweight. And finally, one of the key things that I always try to look out for when deciding on selling any product is whether it has a low return rate. So I try to stay away from items that I believe that customers are going to want to refund on a daily basis, because of course this is going to eat into your profits and it's just going to be a big headache when it comes to the admin side of things and the customer service. So when it comes time for you to start selling a product, you want to make sure that you're foreseeing into the future whether or not that product may have a high return rate, and if it does, make sure that you stay away from it. Okay, so once you've gotten to the point where you kind of have an understanding of which products you should stay away from and which products you should think about selling, the next thing that you're going to need to think about is which supplier should you be using. Now, a lot of people tend to get confused on this stage because they don't know exactly where to go. They don't know which supplier is going to offer them the best delivery and the best quality. And over my years of building e-commerce stores, the three main suppliers that I've used and I always advise a lot of beginners to use is AliExpress, Alibaba.com, and CJ Dropshipping. And I've broken down various different pros and cons with each option so that you have a full understanding of which supplier is going to be best for you and your own e-commerce website. So let's start off with AliExpress. One of the first cons is that they've got various different vendors with various different qualities. So a lot of people that want to start dropshipping, that want to use AliExpress, they see it as one company that has one type of quality, when that isn't the case. There's multiple different sellers that list products on AliExpress. It's very similar to eBay and Amazon in the UK or the US. How normal people can list products on these websites, and there's going to be different type of qualities because there's big businesses that use these websites and there's people that sell them from their house that maybe don't have a high level of quality control that might be listing products on AliExpress as well. One of the next cons is that there's not many options in terms of local warehouses in the UK, US, or just generally around the world besides China, which means that your customers may have to wait a long time to receive their orders, which is obviously something that's very important for you to think about. However, there are some pros that you guys need to know of. For example, there's more products for you to dropship. So I would say that out of most dropshipping suppliers out there, AliExpress does have a big database of products, whether that's in the form of the amount of products that they generally have, as well as the quantity that they have as well, which means that if you did want to scale your dropshipping business at any point, it's going to be a lot easier for you to do that with something like AliExpress because you know that they're not going to run out of stock anytime soon. And it's also a lot easier for you to use it with a dropshipping software, which means that if you ever wanted to connect AliExpress to your Shopify store to a dropshipping software to kind of automate the process, it's going to be easy for you to do that with AliExpress. So moving on to some of the pros and the cons of using Alibaba.com. And if you wasn't aware, AliExpress and Alibaba are actually connected. Alibaba.com is more so used for people that are looking to buy products in bulk. However, you can use it to find a supplier that's going to dropship the orders directly to your customer. But one of the first cons that you need to be aware of is that there's a longer delivery time when it comes to using the dropshipping center. Another con is that once you find a direct supplier, it's going to be a little bit difficult for you to automate it. However, some of the pros are that there's various different suppliers to choose from. You can find a supplier that specializes in that particular product, and you also have the option to buy products in bulk in the future if that's what you wanted to do once you start to scale up your dropshipping website. And moving on to CJ Dropshipping, one of the first cons that I've noticed is that the prices may be a little bit more expensive than these two other options right here. And the main reason for that is because CJ Dropshipping is one company and they essentially go directly to the manufacturer and buy the products in bulk themselves. And because of that, you're essentially paying a premium for the fact that they've done quality control to make sure that the products are working okay, that everything is working smoothly. And that's one of the benefits, I would say, of CJ Dropshipping. But again, it could be seen as a con because it's going to obviously eat into your profit. Another con is that there's not that many products available. So again, because CJ Dropshipping is one company and they're buying the products in bulk themselves and holding it in their warehouses, they're not going to be able to have as many products available as AliExpress. However, some of the pros are that they've got better quality, as I've already said, and they initially started to help people that want to build a dropshipping business. It even says it in their name, CJ Dropshipping. So if you did want to build a dropshipping website and you did want to use them, you're going to see little things that they do or little features that they have that's going to help your business grow a lot more efficiently. Another pro is that you also have the option to buy in bulk and send to one of their warehouses. So CJ Dropshipping is unique because they have local warehouses all around the world, and you can also use them when it comes to dropshipping one item at a time. However, once you start to see that that product is scaling really good, you're going to be able to now buy that product in bulk and send it to one of CJ Dropshipping's warehouse, where they're going to be able to still help you pack and pick the orders every single time you make a sale. Which means that if you don't have space in your house but you do want to buy the products in bulk, you could just send it to one of CJ Dropshipping's local warehouses and they're going to be able to take care of every single order that you get. So moving on to one of the final elements that you guys need to be aware of when it comes to building a successful dropshipping website, which is your traffic source. And for those of you that don't know exactly what traffic source is, this is simply what you're going to be doing for you to get customers to even be on your website and be aware of your business in the first place. And there's so many different traffic methods that you can use out there. You can either use free methods or paid methods. I actually recently made a video breaking down all of the methods that I use when it comes to getting people onto my website. I'm going to leave that video right there. You can check that video out straight after this one because I go into a lot of detail that will definitely give you guys a full insight of exactly which way might be best for you when it comes to getting people onto your website to buy your products. And if you've enjoyed this video, don't forget to press the like button. I really appreciate that. Don't forget to subscribe as well. Hit the bell notification. All right, guys, I'll see you on the next video. Make sure you stay safe out there. Peace.